And welcome to Creativity with Don Allen III. Today, we're going to continue working on building an asset for augmented reality. We're trying to make this character known as the character's name is called it's a demon from this anime show that I watched called Bleach. And I'm trying to bring the asset into augmented reality, but I'm struggling. The rig keeps breaking. It's not bringing in all the animation. So I think I might need to rebuild the rig. We're going to be using a program today known as Cinema 4D. We're also going to be using another app called Adobe Aero. So Cinema 4D, Adobe Aero, and yeah. And we won't need a texture or anything anymore. We already finished our textures. But the goal is to kind of prepare an asset for augmented reality. And I made the asset yesterday. I'll show you it in a moment. But right now I'm trying to bring it into AR because I'm gonna go on a hike, but I wanna place my monster up in the hills when I go hiking, but I can't do it yet because the animation's broken. So I'll show you what I mean by it's broken. So let me flip the camera here. So right now I have the app Adobe Aero open, and you don't see anything right now because it's on preview mode, but let me go ahead and show you what this is. So if I click on the plus sign, go to starter assets, if I bring in a basic shape like let's go with a gold sphere. We can place this gold sphere in the real world. So I can place it over here. I'll just lock it down there. And look at that. Now it's like, it's really there, you know? And it's very compelling because watch what happens when I move my screen away. It's not there, right? So this lives only inside of the fourth dimension, the augmented reality dimension. And yeah, it's pretty nuts. And so like right now it's like virtually right on top of the book. And so essentially what I want to do is take this concept and apply some cool animations to it. Thank you so much, Pug. I will pin that comic. That's exactly what we're doing today. Thank you so much. So you can actually bring your own assets in here. And so I'll show you the asset that I made yesterday, and I'll show you what I mean by it being broken. So you always have to scan your scene. So it creates a point cloud map. Scanning my desk here. I'm just going to place some stuff here. And then we're going to add a new starter asset from my Creative Cloud account. And when I do this, I can go to Adobe Aero. And this is the Menos Grande, a character from the show Bleach that I made. I made it yesterday, but I can't totally bring all the data in. So let me just hit open. Where is it? See how it keeps, look at that. It keeps emerging like underneath the world, but it's like not on my desk. So I literally have to like move my phone underneath my desk here to see it. Oh God, that's right here. Let me, some bugs that we need to get fixed here, but let me just go ahead and try to place it. Okay. So do you see how it's a little guy? Let me just go ahead and bring it over here. It's just so complicated using two different cameras to try to film one thing in augmented reality while the other thing's in physical reality. All right. Oh, I put it too far away. Let me go back to edit. Let's kind of bring this over here, shrink it down so you can see it better. And then I'll hit preview. All right, so this is a creature I modeled yesterday, and I actually baked out the animation so I can get this character animated. I animated it inside of Cinema 4D, and we painted it inside of another program called Substance Painter. We did the UV unwrapping. But currently this is a file format known as a DAE, a day format, and I don't know how to do both. So I can either bring in the animation with no texture, or I can bring in the texture with the wrong animation. So I'm gonna try to solve that problem today. Let me go to behaviors, triggers, and I'll just add an animation. So I already did an animation Cinema 4D. Right now I'm just calling up that animation data. I'm gonna have it loop infinitely, and we'll just check that box and preview. All right, cool, so here's the animation, but you see it's broken because I did a lot more animation inside of Cinema 4D. But it's, I mean, it's cool though. Like it kind of works, right? So essentially I want to continue this, but fix it. So that's a DAE format. The other option, I do have for 3D is it keeps getting placed underneath the floor, and I don't know why. This is what it looks like when it's modeled. Oops. Sorry, this is so hard to manage here. So this is what it looks like when it's fully modeled and painted correctly. But the only problem is this one won't store the animation data. So I want it to be textured like this, but have the animation data, which is a struggle. All right, so we have the program open here. This is Cinema 4D up on the screen, and I'm going to try to solve it. We might need to rebuild the rig. Yeah, so it is an FBX with baked animation, but I'll show you what I mean. It's not remembering all the data. It's only remembering some stuff. I want it to remember my full animation, so I don't have to reinvent it when I bring it back in. So let me open up my recent versions. I'll show you what I mean. All right, here's the Menos Grande. I made it here in Cinema 4D. And here it is with the animation. So I want it to do this. This is what animation I want it to do. And I try to keep the rig really simple with not too many bones. That was another rule of thumb. I literally have the documentation on best processes inside of Adobe Aero. So they talk about how to bring in skeletal animation. And I tried to follow it to a T, but for some reason, when I try to bring in this data, it won't remember all of my animation. It only remembers some of the geometry, and it moves the bones far away from the rig. So part of me thinks I might need to rebuild the rig, and then that also means reanimate, which is okay. I don't mind that too much, but for now, I'm gonna see if I can just bake any animation at all. Maybe this time, instead of doing a full performance of animation, I'll just do a simple movement and see if we can bring that in. Try to bake every keyframe out of Cinema 4D. Oh, that's a good idea. Matador motion. That's a really good idea. I wonder if it can you, if I bake out all the frames, can I still bring it in as an FBX, or do I have to bring it in as an Alembic cache file? Because I want to bring in all the data, but they only, right now, the program Aero only accepts FBX or DAE format. Oh, so yep. Oh, wow, so you can. All right, then let's try that. I'm gonna make a copy of this. So we're gonna go to save as. I'm gonna call this, this one we'll call Metador _motion _suggestion. So I just know this is the format where I'm trying your technique. Okay, so let's see if we can make this out. I'm going to, oh wow, my mouse is broken here. Must be something. Oh, there's a piece of hair underneath the mouse and it's screwing up my sensor. Give me one moment to remove the hair. There we go, okay. Okay, so I wanna bake out this animation. What is the best way to do that? Let me look online. Let's see on the Google Gods. Bake out all keyframes in Cinema 4D. I know one way to do it, but I just want to see what the internet says. It says go to Cinema 4D window menu, then select timeline, Shift F3, select the object in the timeline you wish to turn into procedural animation into explicit scale, rotation, translation, keyframe data. Go to functions menu within the timeline, select editor, and then bake objects. Ah, thank you, Google. Thank you so much. Okay, so go to Cinema 4D window menu. Let's just follow us to a T. All right, Cinema 4D menu somewhere. Where is this? Let me see if they have there's a Cinema 4D. Go to the window menu. All right, there's window, great. And then let me just follow their instructions. Oops, I'll split the screen here. So it says go to window, and then go to Cinema, okay. Then select the object in the timeline editor you wish to turn into procedural animation into explicit scale. Okay, so I want to turn, I guess, essentially this is just the geometry that I have selected here. So I want to turn all of my geometry into baked animation, right? So we're going to take this spooky monster and I want to bake all those animations in so that when I go on my hike today up in the physical real world, I want to place this monster somewhere in the forest that I made, but we need to bake out all the animations so that it's prepared for augmented reality. So let's do this. So according to a Kino computer graphics website, they're saying their steps is to go to Cinema 4D window menu and select timeline. All right, so let's go window, timeline. Okay. All right, cool. So here's the keyframes of animation I did. Then it says select the objects in the timeline editor you wish to turn into procedural animation into explicit scale, rotation, and translation data. All right, I want everything, so I selected everything. Cool. It says next, go to the function menu within the timeline editor and select bake objects. All right, so functions, great. And then I said, oh, it says bake objects. Okay, I'm gonna click it. Oh, a menu pops up. The site says fill in the animation range and choice and enable the position, scale, and rotation checkboxes. Then create copy keyframes is optional. If you enable the checkbox, then a new copy of the selected object will be made and the baked animation will be placed into a newly created object. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so we're gonna convert all of this into yeah, I'll go from frame 0 to frame 96. That's how long my animation was. I'll create a copy. Ooh, it almost forgot scale. So let's check scale. I don't know what it means to have all parameters, but let's try it and I'll hit OK. Whoa. Oh, thank you so much, Matador. I really appreciate this suggestion. This might solve the problem, and that would be amazing. Okay, look at that. So it did something. It looks like we have new animation, and it says press OK, and after which it says press the OK button, after which the procedural animation will be baked. Okay, so I see keyframes in every frame now, so it looks like it worked. Now what do I do? Which one is, okay, it looks like that one up at the top is now all baked. So I'm gonna delete everything else. Let's see what happened. Oh, maybe that was the wrong approach. Whoa, what's it doing? There's this giant circle. I don't know what the next steps are. It looks like it's the same. Do I delete something? So it looks like this one's not baked, so I'm gonna delete that goal. Okay, so I'm left with just this one goal, and it looks like it's interesting. It's like a new set of bones, so I'm wondering if I should bind my geometry to the new bones. I don't know what this is gonna do, Matador. Oh yeah, because it looks like that's the correct performance, but it looks like the rig is on the old. I don't know what it's doing. Sorry, I don't fully understand what it did. Let me undo real quick. All right, so right now it's currently not baked. Oh yeah, here's the baked animation. I'm not gonna delete anything. Let me just see what happens if I just export this and bring it into augmented reality. I don't know. So this is how I learn literally. What you're seeing, folks, what you're seeing right now is literally how I learn everything. It's just like coming up with an idea and then testing it and then breaking it over and over and over and over and over again, and then learning from what broke and what didn't, and then trying it again. And then the way I stay motivated doing this process is knowing that I'm not trying to do it for the end result. I enjoy the process of learning. I enjoy the process of trying to solve a problem. And by enjoying the process, it doesn't make it so binding when you don't get to the solution right away. All right, back to work. Okay, so we're gonna go to file export, and I'm gonna export this as an FBX file. Where is it? There is my FBX somewhere. There it is, a .fbx file. Cool, it says Menos Grande V-Baked Matador Motion Suggestion. Excellent. I'm gonna save it to the Adobe Aero folder so that it automatically syncs to the cloud, and we'll hit save. Cool, let's bring up the settings here. What we wanna make sure we're checking, okay, cool, it says bake all frames, great. We have the tracks for the animation. Looks like we got our normals, all that looks good. Textures and materials. Okay, this looks great, I'm gonna hit okay, boop. All right, let's wait a few milliseconds, and now let's see if it's ready to be brought into augmented reality for beta testing. So I'm gonna go ahead and add a new object here. Cloud objects, Adobe Aero, Menos Grande with motion, with Matador motion suggestions. There it is. We'll hit open. I'm just gonna place it over here by my junky table. Okay. Okay, so I see it put it through the floor. It's the same problem though. I can't select it. Yeah, this is the same problem I ran into earlier. It won't let me select my animations. So that's frustrating. But it's, yeah, so it's previewing and it's working, but it's not totally working. Yeah, just trying to bring it into Aero. It's quite buggy at the moment, bringing animations in. Yep. I've had some luck. I've usually had to rebuild my rigs though. That's been my best luck with bringing in animation, is just rebuilding it bone by bone, which I don't want to do, but I might have to because it's not working. Try point cache. What is point cache? Darn. Yeah, because it's got this one. See, this is the DAE format, so it doesn't have all of the data in it. It doesn't have the textures that I painted, which I want to have my textures in. And it looks like it's not even following the rig correctly. And the rig keeps breaking, even though it was not breaking in Cinema 4D. All right, let's go back to the drawing board. All right, so baking all the animation didn't totally work. I think it is gonna work somehow, but I'm not sure if that's totally the solution yet. There might be another problem. So what I'm gonna do now, since that's not working, is first off, why is my selection brush this massive? There we go, because it's like causing the memory to think too much. Okay, so I know I spent time on this animation, but I think how I constructed the rig is the problem, which is a bummer because I really want to use my rig, but I don't think I can get the rig to work in augmented reality. It's just not listening to my data. Actually, I should try to bring this into Spark AR first and see if maybe my rig is okay. Let me open up Spark AR real quick. Spark AR is the program that I use to make all my effects on Instagram and Facebook. I'll do the update later. And then, so create a new effect, blank project. Okay, so this is a different program. This is Spark AR. I'm just gonna import from my computer, go to Adobe Aero assets, and we have this Matador motion reference, hit open. Okay, so we got this Menos Grande. I'm going to add this I'm just gonna add a quick face tracker node. So we're gonna add a face tracker, and then I'm gonna apply the Menos Grande as a child of the face tracker. Okay, cool. So see, look, that looks fine there. Like the data is exactly how I need it to be. And then to get this to animate, we're gonna turn on our animation controller. There we go. Oh God. It kind of works. There's some issues. Let me pause my animation here. Oh wow, maybe my rig is messed up because it's even breaking my rig here. Oh God. Point cache is in Cinema 4D character tag. All right, let's try that before I discard that. All right, so that was a bad workflow, but so your idea, how do we do this, Dotwood? So you said I go to Cinema 4D character tag. All right, here's the character tag. And then there's some commands. There's create IK chain. There's conversions, convert to nulls, convert to joints, convert to points. There's another tag in here. I think this might be what you're referring to. So you're saying point cache is a Cinema 4D character tag. So I'm going to select the data, right click, add a Cinema 4D tag, and we'll go to point cache. Oh, there's so many options. You said it's under character. Oh, it's a character tag. Oh, there it is, point cache. So what does point cache do, Dawood? So it looks like point cache, store state, restore state, Oh, I see. So you can cover position, scale, and rotation. I don't know what it's referring to. Let me look up online what is the basics of point cache, because I don't know off the top of my head. So point cache basics cinema 4D. By the way, this is literally how I learn everything. For those of you just joining, if I don't know something, you just look it up. You can become really prominent, you can get expert knowledge just by acknowledging it's okay to ask questions and look for information. Okay, introduction to point cache cinema 4D. I'm gonna put on my headphones real quick and just blast through this video, just see what they're doing. Okay, we're just double checking how they do their point cache so that we can bring it into our rig so that we can have that rig in augmented reality. Okay, just going through. Oh, it looks like they're gonna do a cloth simulation and then they bake it out. Ah, okay, so they bake it out. I see they added a point cache there. And then when the point cache is in, oh wow, they can duplicate it. And I'm guessing it doesn't use as much data because then it's all just a cloud. Ah, and that's nice. Then you don't have to calculate too much. Okay, I understand it roughly. So I'm gonna click store stat. I'll save this as something. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but I kind of understand the principle. I'm gonna try to solve this a different way because I think it's, my rigging was not appropriate. I think the way I rigged this character in our animation is what's breaking it. So I know this is super creepy. I apologize. It's from an anime that I watch. I really like it, the anime Bleach. And so I modeled this yesterday, rigged it up, animated it, painted it. But I'm trying to bring it into augmented reality, but the data just keeps breaking. So I'm trying to resolve it so that we can bring in a really creepy performance by this animation. And then I'll be happy. Okay, so I'm gonna pretend, I'm just gonna go ahead and delete the rig, which is frustrating because I did all that animation, but it's okay. This is how we learn. So I'm gonna get rid of the skin root controller, and then we're just left with our geometry. And now there should be no animation in here. Cool. I'm gonna get rid of the joint tools. So we're left really with just our plain old geometry that we started off with. The reason why I wanna do this is I wanna see if I try to import just my geometry, we need to know if that's already broken. Because imagine I build the rig around a broken geometry, then all the rig that we would want to build would be for null, because then it might not even work at all. So I'm gonna delete some of these extra UV tags. Okay, cool. So let's say I just want this as an object that I wanted to have the ability to manipulate inside of some augmented reality products. I'm gonna go to File, Export as in wavefront.obj format. We're gonna call this Menos Grande, that's the name of the character. And I'm just gonna say, yeah, this is just basic underscore geo, basic geometry. Let's save that basic geometry. Let's take a look at our details. I wanna remember all the scale, sure, 1 meter, 1 centimeter. That should be fine. That looks good, hit okay. All right, let's bring that into Adobe Aero. So let's see if we can bring this in here. I'm gonna add some new cloud documents, and it looks like there's the Menos Grande. Oh, it's still converting. It looks like it's still just a bunch of text files. Oh, it worked. Okay, cool. So let me just bring that over here so you can see it better. I mean, this all works correctly, but I don't know why. Where's the texture? The texture should have come with this. All right, I'm gonna have it float right above me real quick. I mean, it works. Like, the geometry's coming in fine. So there's nothing wrong with the geometry. So that means it's definitely my rig. Whatever rig I built is the problem. So the geometry's working fine here. Let me just go ahead and just add a little bit of animation here for fun. Just gonna go ahead and select it, add a behavior trigger. We'll do it on a tap action. I'll spin it along the y-axis, and we'll have it do a back and forth spin one time over a course of 2 seconds. Great, trigger that, preview. All right, so right now it's looking great. If I tap it, it should spin around twice. Boop. Oops, let me try again. Boop, there we go. Yeah, the geometry looks fine. I don't see what the problem is. So why won't it remember my rig when I bring in the skeleton that controls the bendiness of my creature? Yeah, this looks good. Yeah, the geometry's fine. Okay, so geometry's passed. Oh, sorry, questions? Hey, hello, Talking Spree, good to see you. Let's see, we have a question. You are really enjoying Aero, I see, interesting. I'm gonna get Arjun to also play around with it. Do share your thoughts between Spark AR and Adobe Aero, will be insightful. You got it. So between Spark AR and Aero, I really like this because I've been using Adobe Aero to preview stuff that I'm going to bring into Spark AR. Since Spark AR, don't get me wrong, I freaking love it, clearly. I love making filters, but sometimes when I just want to ideate stuff and just see how does something look in augmented reality, I've been using Adobe Aero to preview it first. So I might just do something, like as you see, I might be doing a little animation here on Cinema 4D, then I'll paint it really quickly in Substance Painter, then I'll bring that data in and slap it into Adobe Aero. That way I can preview it, take a look, literally like look around it and kind of be like view in like, okay, oh, maybe I want to change this, or okay, maybe I tweak this. And I can kind of go back and forth. And then once the asset feels right, then I can bring that data into Spark AR so that people can wear it, so that people can use that world-facing camera and place it. My goal with this character is to make a creepy monster that people can aim their phone at the sky, and then when they tap, I'm gonna have it open up a portal into the sky, and that character comes out and like looks around and stuff, and then maybe it goes back in. I also want to add fingers, because in the anime, that character has these really creepy hands, very like super long, and they're covered in bone. It's really creepy, and so I want to actually add the animation where a little crack opens in the sky, and then fingers kind of peel around it, and then part the sky so that that character can emerge from it and look around, and then it'll go back in, and the fingers will kind of, you know, recede back into the void. Yeah, so, but in order to get it to that point, I need to make sure that the asset performs well. I need to get that rig. I'm just doing rig testing, because if I can't get the rig in there, then I won't be able to do the performance that I want to do in augmented reality. So now I'm going to build a rig again. All right, let's flip it. So this is the character. I had to destroy all the animation I made on it because the rig that I built was inappropriate, as in it didn't work. So to build the rig, I'm going to go to an orthographic side view of my character. It's when it's like a flat projection. And with my geometry selected, I'm going to go to my character tag and add the joint tool. And so for me, I like to put the joints right where there's the most vertices. Vertices are, sorry. All right, so I'm going to put a point here. I'm just going to add less bones this time. So we hold Control and click. Sorry, hold Control and click to set a bone. Hold Control and click again to place the next bone. And we're going to go up to the spine here. And then I'll just do one right in the face, upper face. So this is just a 3-boned system. Oh, hold on, I got to text my friend real quick. I'll be right back. So I have these 3 bones in the system. Let's return to our 3-dimensional view. So we got these bones. Last time I added 6 different bones. Right now I'm just going to see if it works with just 3 bones. All right, so we have 3 bones. Great. I'm going to select all 3 bones and then the geometry, and I'm going to bind the bones to the geometry. So we go up to Character Commands, Bind. And by binding the character to the bones, we should now be able to control the bones, and they should influence the geometry. So if I were to take this bone, for instance, and rotate it, we should be able to rotate the head. Weird, it's not rotating. Let me try this bone here. Whoa, okay, so that one works. Let's try this bone. Okay, there we go. So this one kind of works. Let's try this bone. Okay, cool. So we got a little bit of the rig now. All right, so now what I want to do is just import this data in and see if, you know, without any animation, without me switching the tags, can a rig come in? Or does that break it? So I'm gonna go File. Oops, accidentally undid. Let's go back. All right, so this one has rigs now. Yeah, so we have a rig that's binded. Oh, what was your question, Dawood? Yeah, the point I don't understand point cache yet, and it will take me time to practice it. So I'm trying to solve the problem in a different way because I don't understand point cache yet. So I want to see if I can solve the problem in an easier way for me first. And if I can't solve it my easier way, then I'll definitely look into how to use point cache. Okay, so cool. We got a rig in here. I'm gonna just export this as a .fbx file. Boom. And we're just gonna call this test rig no underscore motion. Just something like I just want to see, does a rig work? We'll bring this into Aero and I'll hit save. I'm gonna save all this stuff, hit OK. All right, so now let's bring this into augmented reality. So we're gonna go back to edit and hit the add button. I'm just gonna add some new cloud assets. We'll go to Aero. Where is it? Oh, it looks like it's still loading, still thinking about it. There it is, test rig. We'll hit open. Okay, at least this one works. So I can now bring this data in. Awesome, so my biggest, oh wow, and it's got the texture. Okay, good. Okay, good, so this is actually rigged. Now the next test will be, can we bring in a rig with motion? Because we can totally bring in the rig now. Sweet. Good, 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 good. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, cool. Good, good, good. Let's bring it back over here. Okay, great. So we know that a rig can work. So now I'm gonna try to animate this and see if that is what caused it to break. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the head rotation. I'm gonna start off the head rotation along the yaw axis. Oh wait, or maybe this one, or this one. Trying to see which one looks good. All right, I'll just animate it manually. So I'm gonna set keyframes for the neck rotation, and then we're gonna have it rotate over here to the side. Set some keys there, so now we have a nice little head rotation. I'll do a little bit of an overshoot. Overshoot is when you make it go a little bit further than you actually want it to go. So it kind of makes it look like the mass of an animation has a little bit more force. See how I kind of have it like overshoot a little bit? You don't want to be too intense with it, but it just kind of adds a little bit more life to your character performance. Cool, and then I'm just gonna go over here. He looks around for a little bit. And then set some keys there, so we just get a little bit of neck movement. And then we'll have him look over here to this side. Great, we'll do the same thing where we do an overshoot. All right, just doing some basic animation here. All right, so he looks around, cool. Boom, boom. And then let's bring back that data. Copy the first keyframe, paste it, so that it kind of returns it back to the start position. I'm gonna give us a little bit more time to get to that spot. And we'll take all these keys here, give it a little bit more space to work. We'll give it a little bit more ease before it jumps into that next keyframe. Point cache usually does the job, right? Point cache records each vertex animation. Oh, that would be amazing. I just don't know how to use it. Because there's a weird interface for me. Usually if I'm gonna learn something new on the spot, I usually practice with it for at least 15 minutes before jumping into doing it in the live stream. So I haven't had time to process that. All right, I just wanna see if I can bring in just a little bit of motion. While we're at it, let me just add a little bit of secondary motion on the lower spine here. Can add a little twist to the back here. Okay, cool. So just got this little head movement here. And then I know I shouldn't be getting too much into the animation because I want to just make sure it works, but I have fun animating, so I can't help it. I need to do this. So let's do a little bit of a head lift. So maybe when it rocks its head left and right, maybe the head is so large that the weight would kind of cause the head to dip down. So we're going to set a keyframe for the head rotation, the neck rotation, and then we're going to bring the head down right here. So it's like super heavy, right? And then we'll have it come back up when it's on the side. So it's like, or maybe we'll have it dip down starting right around here. So it looks around. Great, and then we'll bring that head back up. Cool, nice and creepy. All right, let's bring this animation into augmented reality. So I'm gonna bake out this data because there's a setting I check that bakes out all the frames, so I don't have to do it in post. So I'm gonna go to File, Export as a .fbx file. I'm gonna call this this is called a kinematic reg. This is there's just like kinematic rigs versus inverse, so I'm just gonna say regular. Okay, cool. And I'm just gonna save this to Aero, and I'll save it. I'm gonna bake all of the frames of animation, hit OK. All right, now let's preview this in augmented reality. So I got my augmented reality preview tool here. And we're gonna bring in another character and see if this one has our animation baked into it. So I'm gonna add a new data. We'll go to Cloud, and then we'll choose our Aero. There's our FBX file, and we'll hit open. It's loading up. Let's have it load right here. All right, it looks like it loads. Great, I have the data. Now for the moment of truth. Does this have animation in it? Behavioral, trigger, start, action, animate, create animation. Great, we'll do an infinite. And actually we'll do back and forth infinitely. And then great, let's preview it. Yay! Yay! It's interesting. It kind of, so you know what it's forgetting though? The only thing that I'm noticing is it doesn't have the same tilt as the one up there. Which is important to note, because see how this one, I have the one up on the screen, it's all tilted like forward. This one's doing the right animation, but it's not tilted forward. It's just doing it standing upright, which is kind of interesting. But at least it works. I mean, that's the main thing, is I just wanted it to work in AR, and it is working in AR. Yay! Cool. And now, I mean, we could add so many more things. Now that it works, I'll be able to go on my hike, because what I want to do, for those, I want to go on a hike today, but I want to place this monster up in the hills at the top of my hike. So I want to build a character in augmented reality so that I can go out into the physical reality and place a virtual object that I made and animated and painted and textured and place it in the real world. And so we just finished animating this one, we're rigging it. So again, that's the animation up there. We now have it working in augmented reality. So I got my basic animation. If I hit preview, and I can just tap it to start. So now this lives in AR, right? It's very fun. Cool. So now let's add even more animation now that we know it works. Now it's safe. I think I know what I did wrong. So for those of you just joining, what I had done to my rig earlier was I turned it into an inverse kinematic rig. Definitely look that up. It's called an IK rig. I'll type it down. Inverse kinematic. I can't spell. I don't know how to spell it. I'm hoping the autocomplete. Inverse. Okay. If you look up inverse K rig, it will find it. It's called inverse kinematics, and that's when you're able to move just the head, and then that would animate the elbow and the shoulder for you. But right now I have it in forward kinematic, which is a more manual process, but it looks like Adobe Aero accepts forward kinematic rigs. I don't know if it accepts inverse kinematic rigs, so I'll talk to their team about that and let them know when that should change. Okay, cool. So now that I know some animation works, I'm gonna add even more animations. Let's do that. Let's have some fun. Whoop. Okay, so we got some of that head rotation down. I'm gonna make more dramatic since it seems like it's not taking all of my data. So let's go to our joints here and take this joint there. So just gonna set some keyframes there so we get a little bit of motion. All right, cool, so we can add that. Great, and then let's add a little bit more motion to the upper body. So maybe when it comes up here, we'll tilt everything up even higher. There we go, so now it just gives us a little bit more motion to work with. Oh yeah, it definitely has some Spirited Away vibes. I wonder if the author, the illustrator behind that studio, I wonder if they worked on this film too. Okay, cool. So we got the head motion, we got a little bit of a nice loop. All right, I want to add even more animation because you know me, I like to do a lot of animation stuff. So I'm just going to kind of go right back on my rig here. And this time we'll focus on that lower body joint here, this bottom joint. This one will do the ultimate swivel. Yeah, so I'll do it on the 180 degrees. So maybe when it looks over here, let's have it actually looking left. Yeah, having it look left. And then when it whips its head the other way, let's have it rotate that direction. Just 180 degrees here. There we go, so it kind of has a nice little motion there. And then when it returns back up to here, we want to return it back to that first keyframe. All right, so let's see that. Cool. All right, that looks like it's working out pretty well. It's a little jerky around the neck movement right there. It looks like it's skipping a keyframe, so I'm going to go to my neck controller and just space out the keys so it doesn't have a jerky motion. We'll go to this one here. This is joint 3, and I'll just do a little twist of the neck there. Okay, cool. So a little bit of neck rotation. We'll go to the, I guess we can go to this up position. Yeah, so it's in the right spot here. Let's just save this because this one appears to be working. And then we'll just kind of move the keys around, give us a little bit more screen real estate. All right, let's go to this frame right here. And on this one, I want to add a little twist to the face controller. Oh, it looks like I can't control that joint chain. How about this one? Okay, so that's just the neck rotation. That's the up and down. This is the twist. Oh, that's creepy. I like it. All right, let's do that. So maybe right around here, maybe as it turns its head inwards, we start to do a nice little neck rotation. So I'll set the rotation back over here. All right, so that's a nice little neck rotation there. So it kind of twists around. There we go. And then that's a little jerky right there. So I'm just gonna move the space. So it's just a little bit more space for it to move its head around. Okay, cool. That looks pretty good. Awesome. All right, that works for me. Let's bring this data into augmented reality. So I'm going to move my camera all the way back. We're going to go to File, Export, .fbx data, and we'll go to the document. No, Aero documents, and we'll call this that version. So I'll just call this the Menos G. Save that. Bake out all the data, bring up our augmented reality preview tool. We got a few Menos Grandes in here now. We're going to bring in this next one with new animation data. So we'll go in and just go ahead and go to this, Creative Cloud, Aero, Menos G. Let's kind of place this. We're basically engineering experiences that people can place in their virtual worlds, and it's fun. Just waiting for this to load here. Oh, there it is. It's underneath the ground. Just gonna tap it, raise it up through the floor. I'm gonna delete the other Menos Grandes so I don't get confused. Oh, there's a couple down there. Can't select them. All right, so this one's good. Let's see if the animation worked here. Just gonna push this a little bit back into the screen. All right, we're just gonna add a little bit of behavior here. And I'm just adding some animation, infinite loop. Yay! Okay, cool. That looks like it's working to me. Cool. All right, so we got our rig working, and the animation seems to be working now too. We can look around it in augmented reality. Cool. All right, let's add even more scariness to this. I'm gonna close this one out and make a brand new session now that the data is working. Let's see, was that accurate? Because it felt like the neck didn't bend down as much as it does here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, because this one has a lot more lateral movement than the other one, which is interesting because it's like it's not remembering all of the baked keyframes of animation. It's doing a version of it. Oh, thank you so much, Joe. Josephine, my apologies. Hey, what's up, Stark? Hello. And hello, Brooklyn. Welcome. All right, so we got this creepy monster. I want it to do more than this, though, because it seems like it's not remembering all the data. So what to do about that? I'm going to make it look uglier, because maybe it needs to be more exaggerated on here. Let me see what that does. So if it goes all the way bending down there, it's more dramatic than what I was going to want to do, but it seems like it's only taking a percentage of the performance I'm doing anyway. So I think maybe I do need to be more dramatic with the rotations of this character's body. if they want to show up in augmented reality. So that's kind of really bending the character down. Hello, Kid PJ. Welcome to Creativity with Don Allen III. All right, let's kind of turn this one up here a little bit over there and just set our details. It's a little jerky at the very end, so I might want to ease into that spot. Okay, so this looks great. Okay, let's see if it works. Same idea, we're gonna bake out this animation from Cinema 4D. I'm gonna go to File, Export, FBX. Please work, so we'll call this Menos. And see that I'm getting some track animations. Let's bake it all down. Cool, and with this new data, let's bring this into Aero. I'm gonna make a brand new Aero experience here. So for this one, we're just gonna create a brand new session, and I'm gonna scan my environment, creating a point cloud of data. And then we'll add our scene. We'll go to our creative cloud and grab that FBX Menos file. We'll open it up. We'll load it right about there in 3D space. And it loads through the floor. I'm gonna raise it up. Great, and let's just turn on some behaviors. Give it a trigger to start immediately animating. Will happen in an infinite loop. And there's a delay if we wanted one, that's cool. Let's preview that. Okay, cool, that works. I think that's as close as I'm gonna be able to get it. All right, I'm gonna add more animation here in augmented reality. So we're gonna add a secondary animation. We're gonna give it a nice little rotation. So I'm gonna rotate along the, I guess the y-axis. So let's do, oh wait, what's the yaw? Wish I could preview this. Oh, that's cool, you can move it to the side, that's nice. Oh wow, it totally works. All right, so let me do that again. We'll go 70% on the yaw. Nice, so that can give us a nice little lateral rotation. Let's try it again. Amazing, amazing. Okay, what's a roll? It's on the z-axis, let's try that. Oh, what? What? That was too much. Let's bring it down. Let's give it maybe a 4% roll. Let's try that out. Okay, that's a nice little roll. So it's just a very subtle motion. We're gonna do a back and forth motion and make it infinite. Let's go ahead and try these two animations together. So now it's got a nice little spin. It kind of looks around. Perfect. So that kind of just adds that nice little secondary animation into our creature. Wonderful. We're gonna add more behaviors. So I'm gonna add another scale function, a scale multiplier. Let me see what this one does currently if I preview it. Nothing. All right, let's try a nice little scale of, see, we got our Menos Grande over here, looking like a monster. We'll just zoom in here. All right, scale multiplier. I don't know what this does, so I'm just gonna increase it, try it out. Oh, whoa, where'd it go? Interesting, I don't like it. I'm gonna delete that. We have the ability to orbit the camera. Oh, that's nice, let's orbit the camera. Over 4 seconds, that's too fast. Let's turn this down to like, or turn this up to like 12 seconds. Whoa. Oh my God, it's around me. It's creepy. Whoa. Whoa. Oh wow, it's with the camera. That's super creepy. It like stays with me. Whoa. I like this. All right, let's make it super creepy. I'm gonna increase the size of this monster. Push it further away in space and increase the size of it and then preview it. Now we're talking. Oh, I lost it. Where's the monster? Oh no, I lost it. It's somewhere. Oh no, I lost it somewhere. I don't know where it is. Ah, I lost it, Pug. Josephine, I lost it. And there's no back button. There's no undo button in Aero yet. So when that happens, I have to delete it. That sucks. Okay, it's deleted. Creative Cloud. Start over. Menos. Place. Oh, there it is. Where is it? Oh, hello. Oh, I did it again. Yeah, that's a big feature that they need to fix. I lost it again. I have to delete it again. Because it's awful. Because if you move it here, and if you lose it in the fourth dimension, oh, it's up there. Whew. Oh, dang it. When you lose it in the fourth dimension, you cannot find it. Oh my God, that's so creepy. It's above me. Wow, that's weird. It's like actually in my room. I have to grab it and move it back over here. This is frustrating. I can't grab the... let me reset this. It's like right above me and it's impossible for me to grab it. Okay. That's hilarious. We're gonna have to delete that one, the whole project, because it's broken. How do I delete? Is there not a delete? Can I not delete a project? What? That's a big bug too. No. I can't delete stuff? That's problematic. Okay. Well, the important part was that it kind of works. All right, so let me just try it again. Let me rescan and create a new point cloud. Set the floor. We'll add our character. Oh, it looks like I got the timer. About to end the live stream. So thank you so much for watching Creativity with Don Allen III. Hopefully learned a thing or two about integrating assets from Cinema 4D and previewing them in augmented reality to build your own augmented reality experiences. It's the future, and it works, and it's fun, and it's definitely worth your time. If you've got the time, you should make the time for it. Still loading. Yeah, no problem. Do some magic with it, please. All right, so I guess this guy's still gonna load. I don't know where my creature is. It's just in this forever loading state. Oh, I think I'm losing Wi-Fi. That might be the problem.